sometimes when I hear this sort of discussion, I do a mental experiment and compare a man assaulting a female partner with armed robbery. They're both criminal events, and the police, I expect, would take both very seriously. The difference is, in many armed robberies, no one is physically hurt. It's just that some casual goods is stolen. And so in some senses, the physical assault is worse than the armed robbery. But it's very rare that we hear newspapers or communities or church groups or anyone suggesting that we should investigate the psychology of armed robbers and ask them to, and think of ways to engage them to reconsider their behaviour. It just strikes us as a bizarre thing to even suggest, because we know why most armed robbers do it, because it works, and because they get the benefit and privileges of doing it if they get away with it. I think there is a very similar analogy to men's violence against women, and I'm very concerned when we talk about... I think the best way to engage men is with the criminal justice system. They're engaged then, you've got their attention.
I guess too, what resonates for me was what Donna spoke about, that it's about the intent and the intention behind the behaviour, whatever it is. We've talked a lot about physical assault. We've touched a little bit on emotional. And I guess it's like when we talk about that definition of domestic violence, often there's a whole lot of other behaviours and experiences that get dropped off. And I don't think we would all agree that domestic violence, it is complex. It does intersect at a whole lot of different levels. But for me, I can't, whilst I mean, a feminist analysis would be very, very difficult for me to step away from, because it does talk about and include intent, power and control, and some of the stuff that you've just talked about, your analogy. Why do people do it? Because it works. And I think that's, you know, the conclusion that lots of times in working with women and in DV groups, that women also come to the conclusion of the why. Why does this happen to me? Why does he, you know, why don't I have access to money? Why, you know, why aren't I allowed to talk to my family, my friends? Why am I isolated? And it's like, because there's that whole intention behind it. So I guess when we look at the, I guess the backlash and where discussions and discourses are heading, there's that nut, that kernel of intent that I don't want to let it go of. It's very, very important that we keep hold of it.